welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about friends. So, have you made any new friends since COVID? And if so, how did you meet them? Please think about this so we can share in class. Great. We're going to be reading a conversation between two friends. Let's find out what they are talking about. Pause the video while you read the conversation, please. Okay, so if you notice, these friends are catching up and they are talking about the classes they have been taking. One of them is studying English and the other one was studying French, but he didn't continue. So, right now I want you to please read the conversation again and try to identify as many tenses as you can. Pause the video, please. Okay, so you should have found a few examples of simple present, simple past, present continuous, past continuous. We also had present perfect, and we had past of be, etc. So today we're going to be talking about different tenses. These are all of the ones we're going to review. So the first thing we're going to do is to match the tenses to a sentence that has this example. For example, which of these sentences includes the present of verb to be? I am learning a lot of new words. Have you ever gone to an open house? How is your English class this year? I've been studying English for about 6 months. That sounds nice. I didn't like it. I can make it. It was a little difficult at first. I was studying French. If you notice, the sentence that has the present verb to be is, how is your English class this year? Now pause the video and watch the rest, please. Okay, let's go ahead and check. So, the one that had simple present was, that sounds nice. Present continuous, I'm learning a lot of new words. With present perfect we had, have you ever gone to an open house? And finally, with present perfect continuous, I've been studying English for 6 words. Then we have number 6 with past of be. It was a little difficult at first. With simple past, I didn't like it. Then past continuous we had, I was studying French. And with modal verb we have, I can make it. So, let's take a look at all of these structures. So, how do we use the present of verb to be? For example, how is your English class this year? If you notice here, we have many different options, so let's find out when we use it. An action that is in progress in the present. An action that happened in the past. A finished or unfinished action that started in the past and is connected to the present. Specific functions. A present state. An action that is true, habits and routines. An action that was in progress in the past and it was possibly interrupted. An unfinished action that started in the past and is still true, or a past state. We use present of verb to be to talk about a present state. Remember, here we're talking about things that are permanent, right? Or at least semi-permanent. Remember, the present of verb to be is am, is, and are. And of course, it's going to depend on the subject. Now, we use the past of verb to be to talk about a past state. Something that was true, but of course it changed, or is no longer true. It was a little difficult at first. Here again, your verb to be is going to change depending on the subject, but you only have 2 options, was and were. Let's continue. Now, I want you to please pause the video while you find how we use simple present and the present continuous. So, now that you finished, let's go ahead and check. We use the simple present to talk about an action that is true, habits and routines. That sounds nice. And we use present continuous to talk about an action that is in progress in the present. I am learning a lot of new words. Remember that for simple present, we're going to have our verb basically in base form, and if we have a singular noun like he, she, or it, we're going to add an s, es, or ies. And for present continuous, remember we need to use verb to be in present and our verb with ing. Now, pause the video while you identify how we use present perfect and present perfect continuous. Okay, let's go ahead and check. So, we use the present perfect to talk about a finished or unfinished action that started in the past, and this action has to be connected to the present. If you notice, we're using the auxiliary have, it could also be has, and the past participle of our verb. The present perfect continuous is a little similar, but here the action is unfinished, and we know that this action started in the past, is still true, and of course is connected to the present. We're also using our auxiliary have or has, then we need to use been in past participle, and then our verb with ing. Let's continue. Now, pause the video while you identify how to use simple past and past continuous. Okay, let's go ahead and check. So, we use simple past to talk about an action that happened in the past. This action has to be finished. If you remember, with regular verbs, we generally add ed, maybe just d or ied, to make it past. And if it is an irregular verb, you have to memorize those. Now, we use the past continuous to talk about an action that was in progress in the past, and it was possibly interrupted. Here, we're going to be using the past of verb to be, was or were, and our verb with ing. Finally, we use modals for specific functions. This is going to depend a lot on the modal verb you're using to know what it means. Some examples of modal verbs are can, could, should, must, will, may, might, and again, could. They are going to vary what they mean. Maybe we're talking about ability, maybe we're talking about an offer or a necessity. So let's continue. I want you to please go to your student book page 144, exercise A. Here we need to complete the questions using the forms with the verbs in parentheses. For example, we know that number 1 and 2 have to be completed with the present of verb to be. For example, where your family from originally? In this case, your family is a singular noun. So we're going to say, where is your family from originally? Number 2, your parents from another city? Because parents is a plural noun, we're going to use are. Let's do the second pair together. The past of be. What your favorite game when you were little? What it was. Very good. And number 4, you good at sports as a child? Were you good at sports as a child? Great. Now pause the video and work on the rest, please. Okay, we're going to check this in class. Please continue with the other sentences. Okay, excellent. We're going to check this exercise in class. Finally, I want you to go to your workbook page number 2, exercise B. Here, we need to unscramble the questions. Once you finish, write short answers that are true for you. Number 1. These days, with you hanging out are who? You should have. Who are you hanging out with these days? In my case, I'm going to say I am hanging out with my boyfriend and with my brothers. What about you? Please have this ready before class so we can all share. I will see you then. Goodbye.